Welcome to another beautiful episode of Unraveling Her with me, your host, Nikki. And if you can't tell, I really don't know what this is. This is my boyfriend's sound thing, and it's really cool. He's working on a project that incorporates sound, and it's the structure, which I'll show you guys in a little bit. But I thought this was a great intro by using some sound vibrations. But this thing's huge. So, if you can't tell, I am in my boyfriend's studio. I'm so grateful for him for allowing me to come out here and use his space while he's out at the cabin. So, look at this. This is insane. This is insane. I love this piece. I love water and I love this color blue. So come out to Art-A-Whirl if you aren't already planning to. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Grainbelt building. So pop out and see me and my man and his beautiful work. So with that said, lately I've been experiencing a lot of repetition. The highlight of this month, it seems like, the topic rather, is mistakes. And all the books I've been reading have been talking about that too. And in order to get to where you want to be and become that version of yourself, you need to be okay with making mistakes. This is something I have come to terms with. I'm slowly accepting because I feel like I've been delaying a lot of my progress due to the fear of making mistakes. I've seen it, I've experienced it. And I'm just at this point where I'm so exhausted of where I'm at that I'm willing to change my current habits in order to get to where I want to be. That means unlearning different habits, unlearning different mindsets, and unlearning this attitude that I have towards where I want to be. And I need to be more bold and confident with my decisions and trust myself. And that comes with accepting mistakes, right? We're humans, we're not perfect. Nature in itself isn't perfect. And I've been trying to give myself more grace. And if you're listening to this, I want you to give yourself more grace for all the work you've been doing. If you feel like you're not doing enough, I feel that way as a creative, and I see it in my boyfriend too. He feels like he doesn't see progress, but I see it. Look at this. He's a true artist. He's a critic, and it's funny watching him paint because he'll be painting and then take a few steps back to analyze what he's done. Then he's like, that looks different. And he keeps working, and he does the same thing over and over again. I think it's just so funny, but what I'm trying to say is we are our worst critique because we ourselves see every single little thing and notice every little thing in our lives, everything in our features, and we are the ones that become so critical of ourselves that sometimes we just need to zoom out, really, and look at all the progress we've done. Because that's something I feel like I do often, is reflect on how far I've came, but also what's held me back is the fear of making mistakes. And you can't learn if you're not going to make mistakes. That's just the reality of it. And the reality of pursuing your passion means you're going to have to experiment. You're going to have to go through trial and error in order to learn from your mistakes. So if you don't already know, my dream in the future would be to own my own business, whatever that may be. I'm still trying to identify that. And the one thing that's really been holding me back, that's keeping me from thriving, is my fear of making mistakes, because I have been in this constant state of motion, scheduling and organizing everything in my life in order to start. And there's no perfect time to start rather than right now. And as cliche as that sounds, allow yourself to experiment. Allow yourself to make mistakes, because that really is where growth happens. And that's something I am currently working on, you know? I feel like every time I make these episodes, I'm talking about where I'm at. And, you know, that's because, you know, that's where I'm at. It's just slowly learning to accept where I'm at. And for example, this is where I want to be, right? But really, this is where I am, and I need to learn to be okay with that. And another thing too, I've been, you know, as I'm reading these books, I'm getting so many downloads. And one of the things in particular that really stands out to me as I'm reading is bouncing back. And what I mean by that is, say that you make a big mistake, whatever that looks like for you. Or you made a wrong decision, you know. Your ability to become successful depends on how well you respond to those things, to setbacks, to mistakes, and that truly will determine your success, because you're only losing if you allow yourself to quit. And that's something I've heard all the time, is like, don't quit, you know, just keep on going, keep moving forward. And I'm like, oh, but I'm so exhausted. I've been trying so many different avenues on how to make a business and this or whatever. It doesn't even have to be about a business, but in general, I was just so exhausted. I'm like, I've researched so much and I've planned out so many things, and still I feel like I haven't progressed. And you know why? It's because I haven't applied what I've learned. I've just been researching and organizing, and I haven't really fully implemented the things that's in here and what I've been reading in the books that I've been consuming. And so this year is such a critical year for me to start applying everything I've learned and allow myself to make mistakes. And that is scary. It is. I'm even scared of it. But I have to get over that fear of making mistakes, because it's a part of it. It's a part of learning, and the only way to learn is to keep going, to push through your mistakes and allow yourself to learn the hard way, you know? And that's something I've been avoiding, you know, delaying the mistakes, and that's just only delaying my growth. And when I learned that, and when that really clicked into my mind, I'm like, shit, I really gotta start. I really just gotta start. I gotta get off my ass and do the work, because I read and researched so much, but there's always more to learn. Don't get me wrong, I don't know everything. But this is a reminder to you, and also to myself, because I listen to my podcast, you know, if I'm feeling down or if I'm feeling a certain way, or just need a reminder that you've literally made it this far. Literally, give yourself a fucking break and allow yourself to take a break when you need to. Allow yourself to take a breath for a moment and just see how far you've made it, and think of the things that ground you. Think of the things that anchor you down. What's your reason? What's your why? If you've identified your why you do the things you do, why you're trying to pursue your passions, that should be enough fuel to keep you going. For example, my fuel and what anchors me is my family, and as cliche as that sounds, they're a big part of my life. I feel like I have a moral obligation to step up to that vision, step up as that woman I'm envisioning that's successful to me, so that I can help not only myself, not so that I can only sustain myself, but sustain my family back home in the Philippines, and hopefully retire my mom soon, because that is what really fuels me. And also being a role model to my little sister, I want her to know what a driven and passionate woman looks like, and someone who knows how to put their ideas into reality. Not just to my little sister, but to my listeners out there. I want you to really be hungry. Be so hungry for what you want that you just want to keep seeking to know more about it, and then hoping that you start applying what you've learned to life. And the biggest component too is changing your mindset. As you hear that, you probably have heard that number one step to doing anything is changing your mindset, changing your perspective. And it's true. Your biggest asset is your mind. And if you can control your emotions, control the way you respond to things, you have no idea how many doors will open for you. Working in customer service jobs, it's really made me have thick skin. It's taught me how to de-escalate situations, stressful situations rather. And it's made me a lot stronger in the way I talk and the way I present myself. But it's those life lessons, those skill sets that you need to start building in order to change your habits. So first of all, change your mindset, change your habits. Those are the two big things I feel like I'm currently working on, and it's a start. It really is. And another thing, as you know, the essence of this episode is to overcome that fear of failure, because it's inevitable. Failure is inevitable. You can't avoid it. And through it, you're only ever evolving. I'm only ever evolving. And if you've listened to one of my previous episodes about rejection is redirection, I wholeheartedly believe that. If you are getting rejected from a job or from a scholarship or from a potential relationship, just know that it's redirecting you for something better. So don't sweat it, shake it off, because it's only up from here. And that's another thing too. Being in my current career, I am learning to overcome objections and also rejection. I get hit with rejection all the time, and I just need to learn how to pivot. This point in my life is where I'm learning how to pivot if I'm met with like a roadblock. I'm learning how I can get around it, over, under it. And that's such a critical thing to learn as you're growing, is figuring it out. Like, truly, that's adulthood in its whole, is just figuring it out. Because if you're hungry enough to be where you want to be and help the people you love, you have to learn to figure it out. That's the beauty about solving problems, is being creative. And it's such a beautiful thing, truly. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions or would like me to do part 2, let me know. But I'd like to hear some of your stories. Tell me something that you've been met with, or a mistake or decision that you felt wasn't right, and how you got over it, and inspire us. This is what this platform is about, is inspiring other people to share their stories in hopes that we can come together. I'm so grateful for the people who have been listening to me since day one, and I do want to shout myself out for making it to 100 subscribers on YouTube. My first 100 subscribers. It means the world to me. It may not be a lot, but this is pretty huge. So if you're not already, go follow me on YouTube at Nikki Alaris, and see you on the next episode real soon. Mwah. Ciao.